You know, here lately, I feel like I'm in some movie, some strange movie that's taking place in the future. And I guess it's the future for me because I remember, watching movies, I don't know, 30 years ago. And it seems like some of the movies of the future back then, some of the things are happening now. Um, there's a lot of weird things. And I guess they can all be explained, algorithm this and, you know, every move of your life can be tracked. It's weird. Um, I know I shop for something, and I'm trying to think of an example. Uh, I was shopping for vinyl plank flooring. That's one thing. I mean, there's some other things I had to shop for, but that's one of the latest things. And I Google up, and start reading and reviews and just kind of studying about it, because I want to get good stuff, but I don't want to, I want to get good stuff and I also want to get good stuff for the money. So I'm kind of, doing my due diligence to see what the best stuff is for the money out there and not cheaping out, but, find something that's going to be durable because I don't want to do it twice. And watching some videos on guys that do it for a living and pointing out how to look at what's good and not good. Uh, so I did that too. There's some good YouTube guys out there that you know install the flooring for a living, and they'll point out how to look at a good product and how to what the weaknesses are on less than good products, and so that's a lifesaver. But anyway, so I do that, and all of a sudden I got nothing but vinyl plank floor ads coming across my Facebook page. And, basically the main reason I have a Facebook is so I can do marketplace. I buy and sell stuff here and there, and I like the marketplace. It's I've actually bought and sold a lot of stuff on there, gotten good deals. And it's usually pretty simple and easy. Never had a bad experience with it. Uh, but I get on there and I read, other people's posts and what have you like that. And but the ads, I'm like, wow, how do these people know, my ads? And then I'll give you another example. Dial a phone number. I had to get a hold of my insurance agent, who I've had the same insurance place for going on almost 15 years, and the same lady takes care of me. It's a big place, but I have to talk to her if I want to change something big and so I found out her phone number so I could call her directly, and I did. And friend suggestions, she pops up. I'm like, holy crap, that's weird. I just called her today, and I mean, she's a nice lady. I like her and all that, but she doesn't even live nearby, and we're not gonna, like, I guess I could say, she's a friend. She takes care of me, whatever. But I'm not gonna send her a friend request on Facebook. It's more business than anything else. And I just, things like that, like every little move you make is tracked. Um, Phone calls are tracked. Uh, when you shop, it's tracked. Uh, Everything. It's just really, we're just really strange. Um, and it just makes you wonder, how does anybody have any privacy? And God forbid you're a criminal. I mean, you'd have to be one to make yourself obscure would be nearly impossible. Which leads me to something I wasn't going to get into because I don't want to talk politics today or about the billionaires and all that, because I've been doing that lately, and it seems just has a negative aura to it. So I'm trying to give it a break. But the one question I got is, how in the hell are not all politicians and billionaires not in prison? I mean, the way everybody's tracked, to me, it seems strange. I mean, the way they can track people and track every move they make, it seems like they ought to be busted. But somehow they're getting by. Um, anyway, back to my video. I just had to throw that out there because it does strike me as strange, with every little thing you do being tracked. You damn sure don't want to do something wrong because they're tracking you. And then there's the other thing on modern society. It's the age of the 1,000 horsepower car and 200 horsepower, less than 400-pound motorcycle. Now, let me tell you, I'm a car and motorcycle enthusiast. And 1,000 horsepower cars and 400-pound motorcycles that have 200 horsepower have like no business being on public roads with untrained people buying them, and anybody can buy one. I mean, they're extremely dangerous. Yeah, I mean, they only go as fast as you twist the throttle or push the throttle. But who do you think buys things like that? People that are going to push them all the way down and twist them all the way back. I know, because that's what I've done. Will I buy 1,000 horsepower? No. I actually have a car that has nearly 500 horsepower from the factory, and it's more than enough fun. In fact, it'd be real easy to get in trouble with it. It's which I'm going to be selling, mainly because it's a newer vehicle, and I don't want it to. I don't want to own it when it runs out of warranty, and I can't stand paying the insurance on it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I'm 63. I can't imagine what it is for a young guy. But going back to the horsepower thing, you got 1,000 horsepower cars. I mean, you can't use 1,000 horsepower unless you have, slicks and all kinds of, to hook it up is a job. And to drive a car on a street with street tires, I mean, it's almost useless. What isn't useless is the fact that it'll do 200 miles an hour, and this is where the danger comes in. Somebody going, well, you don't even have to go 200. I mean, anything over, I say 130, you're flirting with death. And to do it on roads where other people are traveling at 60 or 70, most people don't perceive that speed, and it's and then when they accelerate to that speed relatively quick, you don't know you're doing it until it's too late. I think most people buy them so they can say the number the car puts out, because I don't think most people can actually drive or ride the motorcycles. I know there's some skilled motorcyclists out there, but I'll tell you this: on the leader sport bikes, which is the 1,000cc sport bikes, the 200 horsepower, 400-pound bikes, the guys that race them, because they are made for racing, the professionals that race them say they're too much, and that's on a racetrack. They say they're too much. So if those guys are saying they're too much, and you got 18, 19-year-old guys buying them and riding them on the street, and they're going to use them, because when I was 18, 19, I didn't have a 200 horsepower motorcycle. I had one, might have had 125, which at that time, back then, was about as much as you were getting on a street bike, but it weighed nearly, I don't know, 550 pounds. I thought I was, King Tut on the thing. It was fast. It still is fast. It's still a fast machine. Uh, and still, deadly to some degree, I guess, because it would do 140 miles an hour. But, these new bikes, I mean, we're talking, well, their speed limit at 186. That's real easy to do away with, though. But at the way they get there, at the quickness they get there, it's deadly, and it's proven. I mean, I don't want to spit out a percentage, but it's a pretty good percentage of people that buy them die on them, which is sad. But there's no way to convince a guy. I know I couldn't be convinced when I was young, and even when I got older. I mean, I bought a Hayabusa when I was 47, and I used it. I used every bit of it. I kept that for 9 years, and I'm still here somehow. I got lucky, but it's. I live down in rural areas too. I mean, it's that probably helped. I mean, not to say I didn't ride it to the city and back, but those machines are just, and I think most people buy them just because of the numbers. Should they be outlawed? No, I don't think they should be outlawed. I just think, people should take them a little more seriously, because they are deadly. And I'm getting off track talking about all this because I was talking about how I think we're living in a weird movie, but the fact that these things exist uh, adds to it. These 1,000 horsepower cars, these Dodge Challenger Demons with over 1,000 horsepower that can run a quarter mile faster than a Pro Stock could when I was a kid, or even a teenager. I mean, I don't know how many people are out there watching this, but if you've ever driven a car that runs 13-second quarter miles, it's slamming you in the seat hard. I mean, real hard. It's all. In other words, it's fast enough to be a lot of fun, a whole lot of fun, um, and without necessarily, taking you all the way to 200 and putting you in that much harm's way. But I think a lot of guys skip over, the 500 horsepower car and go right to the 900, 800, 1,000, because they got to have those numbers. They got to sit with their buddies with the beer in their hand and say, hey, yeah, oh yeah, I got 1,000 horsepower. Well, yeah, you can't use it on the street. Now, if you're taking it to the track, that's another story. Yeah, it makes sense, but on the street, you can't use it. Anyway, I always get off track on my videos when I start talking about cars and bikes, but like I said, it's all part of the weird in the future movie feeling of everything around me. Uh, and I would probably take this all in and enjoy it more if I was younger, the weird movie thing, but I'm like old now, and I don't know. Probably won't be around a whole lot longer. I mean, maybe 10 years, which I guess, it's almost like I don't get to fully enjoy it. I don't know. It's a strange feeling. But this is a weird video too, isn't it? Because I'm really like not going anywhere with it. But yeah. Anyway, well, I guess that's my weird movie video. It just feels like a weird movie. The way things are nowadays. I don't know what young people think about it because they didn't live in times when it wasn't really like this. I guess if you're 20 years old, you're kind of born into it because it was. I don't know. The last 20 years, it has been like this. It's getting progressively and more accelerating faster into weirdness. I think. Uh, kind of wondering what's going to happen next. Anyway, anybody has any comments on what they think is going to happen next, comment. I'd like to hear it. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.